I was born December 6, 1995 in Queens, New York. Today I turned 25 years old. Growing up, I was always the youngest in the family until about a year and 4 months. Then my younger brother came along. So I was always very alert, so being an older brother kind of came easy. We were yin and yang. He was always the life of the party, always wanted to have fun, and I was always shy and reserved. So it worked out perfectly.
Mark, let him out, Mark. Mark, you ready? CJ, how you feel? Huh?
Growing up, sports made me happy. In my family, we had a gift of impersonation.
Show me his moves.
Whether it was Ken Griffey,
Okay, he's A-Rod.
Alex Rodriguez, Bruce Lee, or Michael Jackson. We all had our part in it. My dad didn't play much sports growing up, but he put the desire into us to love the game and be great.
Yeah, that's my boy. Do the one to daddy. Another one to daddy. Yeah.
My dad had it pretty tough growing up in Brooklyn. At 12 years old, he already seen 12 deaths. There were addicts, junkies, all laid out in front of his stoop all the time. There's a story I remember him telling me when he was younger that his older brother, my uncle, witnessed a murder, and my grandma out of fear took my father and my uncle out of school. So my father had it pretty tough growing up, but I applaud him because with all the circumstances, he still came out pretty well, and he didn't become a product of his environment, and we appreciate that.
Last days here. Oh, dang. Kid, you was what, 20 when you came into this hood? Now you leaving with 40 years on you, man.
My mom, she strove to give us the best. She worked 2 jobs just to put us in good schooling. They knew they had responsibilities, my parents, and they knew they had to take care of it. I appreciate that, and I'm forever grateful for those things. So tell me about your teenage years. How were they? When I got to my teenage years, life became a little bit different. Life got bigger than my backyard, as you can see. I never felt pressure in life. You know, my 2 biggest fears were never reaching my full potential and letting my parents down.
Go, CJ, go. Go, CJ, run. CJ caught a double.
Life took a different course. I felt like I had to try to reach goals that weren't mine. Life is unpredictable as it is, and as challenging as it is. And as a young kid, when it came to my own insecurities and my own problems, that's where I felt the most pressure. I failed a lot there as a teenager. I failed my junior year off of the baseball team. My freshman year, I was a standout freshman. Sophomore year, I didn't do as well hitting, but I pitched well. My junior year, I had the weight on the world on me. I had about 30 colleges looking at me, and then I failed off, and it all went to zero. And that's probably the worst time in my life. A lot of self-hate, a lot of depression. It wasn't easy. I had everybody looking at me to be this great baseball player, be this great person. And I feel like I let them all down. I failed myself. I failed my family. I got comfortable, I got lazy, and I thought I had everything in control, and I didn't, and it humbled me. It really did. What killed me the most is that it felt like I beat myself. I had no one to blame but myself. Everything I've gone through was because of my own, lack of care. And I had a gift, I guess you could say, for hiding what I felt. I just kept pushing along. It didn't seem like it bothered me. But my mom, she had a saying that, don't be a zero. And that's what I felt like I was. I became that zero. And I would just replay. And when I lay my head down at night, I'm in the pillow. It was just those thoughts, that shame, that guilt, that self-pity. And it was terrible. It was a terrible season for me in my life. And then in the midst of all that was happening to me, a good friend of mine had passed away in a car accident. And that really just broke my heart, A couple weeks before, I was thinking about calling him, giving him a call, and I just did it. And the night that he died, I remember around 8 o'clock that night, I felt something like a heaviness over my chest. And I just felt weird, I couldn't explain it. And then that same night, I go to sleep, and I have a dream about him. He's playing with his ball, and the ball goes into the middle of the street, and it just goes white. And that's what happened. He passed away, and it made things a lot harder.
So now, how did his death impact you?
You know, the whole town came together to mourn his death, and I didn't know that, you know, through his death, so many people would be impacted. Even my life, you know, even from the grave, my life has changed so much from his passing. My cousin, he came to church, and he had started a relationship with God, and he started preaching to me, things like that. And, you know, I always believed in a God, but I always thought he was far and distant. But he showed me evidence of like a tangible God, you know, someone there. He wasn't there just to judge you, but, you know, he wanted a relationship with you. And that changed my life. And, you know, I'm experiencing so much emotion, and, you know, that comes upon me. And it's unexplainable.
Now, this pressure that you felt, did you let it get to you?
You know, people had these preconceived notions of God and, you know, what they thought was going to happen to me. But my life became so much better. I was at peace. I felt freedom. And my life, little by little, was changing. My thoughts, my characteristics, things like that. And now I started to understand God's grace. And I wasn't taking life for granted. My life changed in a way that became more focused, more driven. And that's only God that could do that, really, from where I was at before. You know, God started to write my story now. And I used to live my life trying to please others, but now I look to please Him. And my goals have changed, my vision has changed, my drive has changed, and I'm living what He has written for me. And you know, I'm just trusting Him, being patient day by day, and, you know, I'm hoping for the best. I know you're not being fully transparent with me. There are things you're still afraid to speak on. I know you. I know your thoughts. I know how you feel. But what you fear, you are no longer. What was a stumbling block for you is now non-existent. What you hate, you are called to change. What was a problem, you are now the solution. Remember, the trials and tribulations are meant to transform you. The testing of your heart is meant to bring you to the next level. People's true character are going to be shown, and you will take note, but never allow it into your heart. Your gift is going to take you places you would never imagine. Continue to write. Continue to be original. I know you, and I know you know and understand the times, so continue to write. The times of you forcing the issue are over. God sees your heart and your good intentions, but you will know it's on His time now. So be patient. Understand that God's grace is sufficient for you. Your upbringing, your failures were not in vain. It was God calling you out to be different. Everything God has told you in the first 25 years, you will live out in the next 25 years.